Meow! D'Angelo, come up here! Come here! Wow, wow! He got a little toy. Diaz, come here. Diaz, good job. Look at the little toy he brought me. Diaz, you're so sweet. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Say hi to the camera. Oh my goodness. Everybody say hi to Tinge. Everybody say hi to Tinge. Everybody say hi to Tinge, because he's so cute. He's so cute. I love this cat! My first apartment was so bad that it went viral on TikTok. Hello everybody. I never know if I want to open up these videos with like doing like a cute little intro where it's like, hi, my name's Haley, and today I'm gonna be talking about and I don't know if I should just like jump right into it. Depends on the day. We'll feel it out. I'll put the video up here. Dude, come on. Like this entire room. Smoke. Weird neighbors. Mice galore. This place was filled with so many issues and a bad landlord to put the cherry on top. First, we have to set the scene. It all starts in 2022. I had just dropped out of college. I moved back in with my parents and I needed an apartment. I moved back home in the spring. I didn't get a full-time job until like June, and I moved into my apartment in like September, October. I had to get an apartment so quickly because parents were getting divorced. It was easier for me to just move out as quickly as possible than to, I don't know, move in with one of my parents and then have to move out like a few months later. So I had to really like figure it out real quick. So I was really desperate for an apartment. I had also just started a new job where I was making like, starting was like 18 an hour. So I was trying to find something that was like under 1,000 because I didn't want to spend more than half my paycheck on an apartment. I didn't have a credit score. I was only 19. Credit scared me. It doesn't scare me anymore because I just pay off my card every month. You know, I was really cautious about getting a credit card. That made it really hard to find an apartment because if you don't have any housing history and you don't have any credit score, a lot of places are going to deny you or want a cosigner. Then I found the nightmare apartment and a nicer apartment. The nicer apartment was like $200 more per month, half the size. It was like 500 square feet. It was like over a half hour away from work. And meanwhile, this apartment, the shitty apartment, was like $1,000, almost 1,000 square feet. So it was a really big apartment too. It was only like 10 to 15 minutes away from work. I value my free time. So which one am I gonna pick? The shitty apartment. It makes more sense for me. I'm 19, you know, I'm gonna have a little shitty apartment, you know, it'll be fine. And the landlord seemed nice. And look, I gotta be real, a big thing that drew me in, it had this gorgeous clawfoot tub. That was a very big sell for me. It was the clawfoot tub. And a really cute clawfoot tub. The clawfoot tub was this gorgeous green color and it had pretty flowers on the side of it. Honestly, I probably should have tested it for lead paint because it looked like lead paint. Might have been lead paint. It was amazing. Except for the fact that the shower curtain was made out of PVC pipe. Shower curtain holder thingies. It was really ugly. It was so fugly, dude. I go to tour this apartment. This apartment looks like it's in an alright area of this town. It was like a little suburban neighborhood. This neighborhood turned out to be pretty sketchy. I'll get into that later, but I did not feel safe. It could have just been because of the neighbors that I had, but I didn't feel safe. I go into this apartment for the tour and I go in. Yeah, oh, apartment looks so cool. You know, I just pretty much glance all over the place, you know. I walk into the living room, random guy sitting on his bed, which he had in the living room for some reason, and watching TV. So the tenant was just there during the showing. If you go to tour an apartment and the tenant is there just chilling, it's probably not a good apartment. And then I go in the kitchen. The kitchen looks a little shitty, but I was like, okay, this apartment's a little shitty, but it's big and I can always paint it. I can always like paint it or make it look cuter. I move into this apartment. It was kind of an ordeal. It's always an ordeal moving in, especially an old new place. Older buildings, if you live on this older East Coast area near Philadelphia, it's hard getting furniture up those stairs. I have a Juki sewing machine and it is very, very heavy, but thankfully I have people that I can make carry it up the stairs for me. So I always appreciate that because it's like a solid metal table. Once we got everything in, I was like, okay, this is pretty chill. I got a few pieces of furniture in here. Things are looking great. First night, I stayed there with my boyfriend and we put an air mattress down. When I woke up in the morning, first time staying there overnight, my boyfriend looks over at the side of the bed and is like, Haley, there's a dead mouse. Haley, there's a dead mouse over here. And I was like, oh, yep, that's a dead mouse. And I took a little picture with it. No clue how that got there. That's kind of gross. So I threw it out and I was like, damn, there's mice in this apartment. I don't like that. Hopefully they'll go away when I have my cats here. They did not go away when I got cats. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. My cats can't catch a mouse. Play with them and then drop them and then they scurry away. I'm just gonna start listing off things that were wrong with this apartment, just telling little anecdotes. The main one that started this whole thing, I look at the wall and I'm like, there's like smudges on the wall. Why are there smudges on this wall? I take some cleaning solution, I spray it on the wall, and gross black stuff just oozes down the wall. So these wood paneling walls were covered in old smoker soot. Like probably years and years and years of like old smoking. Honestly, yeah, maybe some of it was varnish from the wood paneling, but a lot of it was smoke. You could just tell. In the corners of some places, it was darker. You could see like fingerprints on some parts of it. It was not good. Like it was smoke. It was smoke. It was gross. So I ended up having to get rags and attach it to my Swiffer, spray cleaning solution all over the walls, and clean those walls. I could have asked my landlord to get someone out there to do it. He didn't offer when I mentioned this to him. He was like, oh, yeah, I think the last people like jeweled a lot in here or something. And I'm like, I don't think jeweling can cause all of this. I took the L. I was like, God damn it. What did I get myself into? And I just Swiffered the walls for a few months. Another big thing that I got really, really upset about was one day I was looking at my door and my door went directly to the outside of the building. So anyone could just walk up to my door and knock on it. I looked at it. It was a glass panel door, glass. And I realized it was a plastic panel that they put in there to replace glass at one point. Oh my gosh, someone can just pop this out and get into my apartment, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like, hey landlord, this is just plastic. And it took him like a few months to get this freaking window replaced. Once he finally did, I was overjoyed because I did not feel safe in this neighborhood at all. Once he got it replaced, I felt a little bit safer. I still felt somewhat unsafe because it was a glass panel door leading directly outside, something I failed to notice when I first looked at the place. A lot of this could have been avoided if I was more perceptive, you know, but we live and we learn. Now, let's get into the reasons why I felt this neighborhood was unsafe. A mid-sized like town city, you know, and I was like, okay, this town and this little city, it's a little bit rough You know, it's a little rough town, but this is a little suburban neighborhood that's like outside of that rough town, so I think it's fine. I then talked to some people that know more about this area after I got the place, and they were like, that's kind of worse than that bigger city there. And I was like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? There was a guy that lived underneath me, and he rented like a garage, and I'm pretty sure he lived in this garage, which totally chill, totally cool. He would blast very, very loud music from his speakers. It would drive me crazy. I have a lot of sensory issues, so I would then be upstairs and I would like kind of have like a meltdown, you know, and the comfort of my apartment just be like, ah, and that would stress me out. One night I'm heading out, I'm about to go to a thing for work, and he comes out and he asks, hey, I'm trying to save some money. If I pay you like half, can we share Wi-Fi? And I was like, yeah, sure, we'll figure it out. I don't know why I agreed to that, but I kind of just wanted the extra like 20 bucks a month. That would have been great. This guy was a pain in my ass. He neglected to pay a lot of the time. I didn't like the thought of someone else using my Wi-Fi. And he was the kind of guy that would just like randomly strike up conversation while you have like a bunch of grocery bags in your arms and just keep you outside for like 10 minutes just talking your ear off, and you're like, I want to go inside, please stop talking to me. He wasn't too terribly bad, but he was pretty annoying in like a older man kind of way. There was one time where he asked me to try to fix his computer for him, and I could not fix that. That thing was old as hell, and I was like, hey, I don't know what's wrong with this. You're gonna have to take it to like Best Buy to get it looked at. I feel like half the time he didn't understand what I was saying. I don't know if he was high or something. My apartment always stunk of weed, even though I don't really smoke weed. I never smoked weed in that apartment, but my apartment always smelled like it. Whenever I would get home at night, in one of the garages, there would always be like a big group of like men. They would always stare at me. If you're a woman, you can kind of discern when men are being weird, when you're feeling unsafe. And I always felt unsafe, even though nothing ever happened. I always felt uncomfortable. And I shouldn't feel uncomfortable when I'm walking into my apartment, but it was always just like, it was always just full on staring. And that's something that I began to notice when I was in this neighborhood. Everyone always stared at me. I don't know, they always stared at me in like a creepy way, or they stared at me in like a, why the fuck are you here? Get out of here kind of way. I don't know, people in this neighborhood always seemed upset and irritated and disgruntled and grumpy, and honestly, if I still lived in that neighborhood, I would be pissed off too. That neighborhood sucked ass, dude. There was also one time when I was going to take out my trash in the back, a guy came up to me, one of my neighbors in the back that I never really talked to because they were on like the other side of the building. He comes up to me, clearly high or on something. I don't know, not my business. He just tried chatting me up. You know, he was like, oh, he had like the, kind of look on his face. And he was like, what kind of job do you have? Oh, what's that? Oh, if I like commissioned you, could you like, I don't know, make me something? Oh, you know, make me something for like my girlfriend. I did not know what the hell he was talking about. I didn't know what he was saying. And I was like, I'm not really taking commissions right now, but thank you, you know, as polite as can be. And I was like, have a great day. I hightailed my ass back to my apartment. But yeah, this building was kind of filled with weird 50-year-old men. Another one of my neighbors was this really old guy, maybe a rough 65. One time when I was holding all my groceries and he was like, oh, how are you doing today? I was like, oh, I'm doing good. How are you doing? And he was like, you know, my sister died. You know, my wife died like a year ago and it just really sucks. Like, first thing out of the back that he's talking to me about. I'm like, oh my God, I'm holding all these groceries. My arms hurt. I just want to go out and I just want to go inside. And there's this old 65-year-old man dumping all of this heavy shit on 18-year-old me. You know, time and place, man, time and place. I'm tired of old men trying to confide in me. There was also one time where someone asked either me or my boyfriend, I forget which one because it was so many years ago, but asked like, oh, where's your boyfriend at? Like, where is he? When is he gonna be around? You don't just ask a lady where her boyfriend is and when he's going to be around. It sounds like you're gonna try to do something to that lady. Some other very minor things in the house, not really minor, but it just all adds up. Whenever I would take a bath or a shower, the hot water would sometimes just not work. I'm gonna guess that the whole building, or like me and another tenant, probably shared a hot water heater, and they were probably also taking a hot shower or something at the same time, because it would just randomly go cold, or I would want to take a bath and it would just be very temperate water, and I'm like, I want a hot bath, I'm cold as fuck, I just want to relax. And I would have to go to the stove and boil water. Speaking of the stove, it was like a 1950s stove. In order to use the interior of it, I would have to get a long Bic lighter and put it in, like shove it into a hole and light gasoline. It was fine. But it did scare me quite a bit. I was always scared that there was gonna be a gas leak in the apartment. Another thing is the wiring in the apartment was definitely not up to code. I still had fuses. I still had fuses. I still had fuses. I still had fuses in my apartment, which is not good. You shouldn't have fuses in your apartment. That's not safe. Thankfully, I never blew a fuse. Mentally, it felt like I was blowing a fuse every single day. Also, I'm pretty sure that there was mold in the kitchen, on the ceiling. Landlord just painted over it, you know? Pretty sure the roof was leaking. Nothing came in, but there was significant water damage on the ceiling. There was like a little overhang area outside, and right where my door was, that was leaking. So then water was getting in through the door. So thankfully he just sealed it off very quickly. Also, one of the windows, when I first moved in, I noticed it was broken. When I moved out, it was still broken. Some of the windows were so old that they had little ropes on the side of them. And one time, one of these ropes was so old that it snapped. And there was a window in my room that led to the roof, which would be probably used as a fire escape if there was a fire. Whenever I would try to open it, it would slam down. It was bad. The landlord fixed it. I could never like get the upper body strength to open that window. Pretty sure there was lead paint on all the trim in that apartment that had not been painted over. I'd never tested it, but it was for sure lead paint, because all the lead paint around here has that same yellow hue. It was flaking as well, which if it's flaking, it's really, really bad. So I don't know how much lead poisoning I got when I was there, but certainly felt like I was getting poisoned every day. I would regularly get maggots in my trash can. I got to admit, I didn't take my trash can out as much as I should. I didn't really know how much I should take a trash can out. I would take it out maybe like every 1.5 weeks, when you should be taking it out like in the middle of the week, so 2 times a week. I started getting maggots in my trash can. This apartment had a problem with flies to begin with, but then they started laying eggs in my trash can. My apartment was not air conditioned, by the way, which probably made this worse. I opened the trash can to take the trash out. Maggots were coating the lid. I just threw away the whole trash can. I wasn't that neglectful of taking out the trash can. I still shouldn't have gotten maggots in that trash can with how much I was taking it out. And when I was moving out, I found a bunch of mice, like 3 to 4 mice just sitting around my trash can. I'm gonna try my best to recount like the issues that I had with this landlord. This is all just like anecdotes. I'm not trying to slander anyone. I'm just trying to talk about how shitty this guy was to me from my perspective. Previous tenants saw the video that was on TikTok and was like, hey, was it this apartment? I was like, yeah, it's this apartment. And we both had very similar issues with this landlord. There's several code violations here. And then they showed me like a photo of the electrical in the basement. They were like, this is so bad, it's rusted through. This could cause a fire and people could die. And I was like, oh shit, that is pretty bad. I also forgot when I first moved in, the heat was not working. Also, by the way, for rent, I was paying it all through Venmo. Little bit sketchy. Another weird thing I forgot, there was a security camera for the laundry room area. I never used the laundry room because, I don't know, it was just kind of weird and I didn't want to pay money. So I just went over to my dad's once a week to do my laundry. But they had a security camera in there and my landlord asked to use my Wi-Fi, mind you, to connect this security camera. I don't know why I agreed to this. Why did everyone want to use my fucking Wi-Fi? When I moved out of this apartment, he asked me when my lease was up. I said, BTW, I'll be fully moved out on this date in early September. And he was like, your lease is until August, you know, the end of August, right? I was like, are you serious? No, it's till the end of September. And he was like, I was just asking. And I said, you should already know these things. I can resend you our lease if you need a refresher. He says, stop being cocky. The whole time that I was in this apartment, I felt like I was being talked down to. This guy would take forever to fix my issues, would not fix some issues, and would always talk down to me like I was a child. I was 18 and 19, but I still deserved a little respect. And he did not give me the kind of respect that I deserved. I did not respond to this message because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this bullshit anymore. Me being stern and me being rightfully upset that you don't know when my lease is ending is perfectly valid of me. And for you to say stop being cocky, it's pretty rude. It's pretty rude in all honesty. I don't want to get into it too much, but it really sucks getting older and just realizing all of the sexism and misogyny that's just all around you. It makes you go insane. It like digs into your mind and it's like, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there. It's literally everywhere and you see it in the smallest like little statements in conversation, or in how someone speaks to you when you're dressed a certain way versus another way. It's very, very frustrating. It bothers me a lot when people talk down to me. You know, to start getting off of this little mini tangent, I will say that a few years ago, I did not know how to pick my battles, but I've gotten a lot better. I'm good at taking shit to the face now, I guess. But back then, any little thing, I would be like, hey, don't do that, I don't like that. And people don't respond well to that. At the very end, I was so freaking excited to move out. And I moved out probably like 3 weeks before my lease was up, so a little bit early. And I moved all my stuff into my new apartment. Obviously, I switch over all the electrical, I switch over that account to my new apartment. All of that gets shut off at that apartment. I assumed, probably incorrectly, I should have kept the electrical on for that place, I think. I should have. I think it's my responsibility. I don't know, but I handed over the key right when I left. So I was like, hey, I'm done with this apartment. There was this piece of furniture that I left because it came with the apartment. It was this little like bookcase kind of like thing that was in the hallway closet. And I put it back in there and I left it there because I just thought it was part of the apartment furniture. I didn't want to take anything. Then I get charged a furniture removal fee for this piece of furniture. So I was pretty upset about that. I also got charged a cleaning fee and a bunch of other things. I cleaned that place top to bottom. I even freaking painted any scuffs that I left behind. I left this place better than I found it. I scrubbed those walls. I spent probably a full day in total with hours, and I spent a lot of money cleaning those walls from top to bottom, and I get charged the fee. So I end up kind of crashing out at him and kind of just going nutso in text messages, which I should have been, I don't know, he kind of deserved it. I should have been a little bit more amicable. I don't feel too bad about it. He only took out like maybe $200 from the security deposit, so I was like, you know what, fuck this, you know, it's fine. That's pretty much the end of this story. This happened 3 years ago, so I probably forgot some things. Some details are probably missing. Narrated this to the best of my freaking ability, and my throat is really sore from talking for like an hour. TLDR, landlords are the devil. They're evil little vermin creatures, little parasites, little poopy faces. Never have had a great landlord. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you're feeling a little bit crazy, follow me on Instagram. Tick-tock on the clock. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.